Okay, welcome back to Classic Mix-Up Podcast. We're here, episode 17.
Episode 17, Rosario. Another live episode.
Yeah, we're here in person.
This has been a while.
It's been a while, yeah, since Thanksgiving. But
yeah, so it's been a while. What was that episode, like 9?
9, yeah, episode 9. We talked about Nirvana and how disappointed we were.
It's a lot different. We've come a long way, even in that short time. I mean, that's what, a few months.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little better at this.
Hey,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's more of a routine now.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm like coming. It's like work. I'm like
it's like every Monday night or whatever night we end up doing it. Like,
yeah, and it's.
I'm impressed that we've been able to stick with actually doing an episode every week, barring a little. I mean, this one will be late, but you'll probably be seeing this on like Saturday night as opposed to Friday. But
our loyal fans wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think they're okay with it.
Yeah.
All 15 of our followers. Hey, we're growing the brand.
Yeah, brand.
Yeah,
for the brand.
We're growing the brand.
Yeah, so how you been? Good.
I'm glad to be back. Dude. I am. I've been pretty busy at school, obviously. So
yeah.
I'm excited to just have a break from school, and it's spring break, so that's why I'm here.
That's sweet. Mine's not this week, but next week.
Next week? Okay,
yeah, cool. So whatever are you gonna do? But
at least we were able to.
It's actually the week of GID. I have spring break.
See, I would rather. So what I'm doing is I drove home yesterday. I'm driving back, in a week from now. I'm going to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning, and then I'm driving back on Thursday. And then we're going to the concert on Friday, and then I'm going back.
Sweet.
So it's gonna be kind of a nightmare, but I'm really excited for that concert.
Dude, I'm pumped. I had this thing kind of happen where my cousin goes to school in DC, and she wanted me to fly out for spring break. Yeah. We had the same spring break, and I was like, oh man, I want to fly out, but she was gonna be gone. Like,
you would have had to miss the concert.
She's leaving this Wednesday to next Wednesday and going to Florida.
Okay.
So she
wanted to come
one of those
DC.
days of like Wednesday night through like Sunday.
Yeah.
So right in the middle is JID. So I couldn't like go like 3 days and come back home on Friday. It would be like
that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. But, so I had to be like, hey dude, I can't go.
Concert should be good though. I'm prepared to.
I am pumped.
I'm prepared to like wait outside.
Yeah.
I hope it's not gonna be too cold. I saw a video of, I think it was like Pennsylvania or something. Yeah. The line was like around the building.
Oh yeah, and especially at small venues, like where is that? The Masonic?
I think it's at the Fillmore.
Okay,
so not like
one of
super
those,
small.
You have like those three venues: St. Andrews, and then
Fillmore, and Masonic,
downtown Detroit.
Yeah,
and all of those buildings get really like the line gets really long.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't open up the doors
until right before,
right when they say
that they're gonna open there. Yeah, I don't remember what time.
They don't let anybody. It's not like you wait around.
It's not like Comerica Park.
No, it's not like you wait in the gates or anything like that. And then like,
dude, for Comerica Park for Hella Mega Tour, I was there I was in my seat like 6 hours before Green Day came on. You know what I mean?
it's because they don't want people like sitting in standing room for like hours and hours.
Yeah,
that
makes
sense. Really do anything.
Yeah.
At least with like sitting outside, like everybody has a fair.
Well, for Baby Keem, we got talking to Baby Keem at St. Andrews with Joey and my roommate.
Yeah,
and we only got there like an hour early, but we were in the front at least like 30% of the line, and got a solid spot.
Did you get a good spot?
Yeah, I mean it was a solid spot. I didn't think it was a great spot at first, but it ended up being really good. We were like on the edge of like the mosh pit, which is I think where you want to be. So I might try for that again. Next week.
We don't I'm not trying to get in the front because I know I want to buy merch, and I know no matter what.
I already bought my merch.
Oh fuck. Okay, so
I'll go buy merch with you, but for that reason, like
yeah. I mean, we could try to get in the front.
I mean, shit. I will see. I'm also not trying to get there. Like
we have like a big group of people.
We have a big group,
so it's like even if we don't get right in the front, we're gonna have our own little.
No, it's gonna be fine. And like we're tall also.
Yeah. Anyways. No, but like the whole thing is like when you go to a concert with like a standing room concert with like 10 people,
you have your own. It doesn't matter where you are. Yeah,
you're not gonna be like because you're all gonna like control. We're all gonna control our like chunk of the.
We're not gonna be getting pushed around basically.
No,
and we're a bunch of bigger dudes too. Yeah. So I felt bad. There was this like short girl next to me at Baby Keem. Yeah. She like couldn't see shit probably, and I'm like, that's a suck. That's tough.
That's what sucks about standing room places. Is like even though like I'm not as tall as you, but like I can kind of see like over like if there's a really tall person in front of me, I can always see like over their shoulders. Right. Like that.
There's not many people that are like way taller than us. So,
no. But dude, it's gonna be good. I don't think I'm not. Insane. I'm just gonna probably wear like a t-shirt and like jeans there, honestly, because it's just like, why bring a jacket? Like,
no, so what I didn't know about Baby Keem is that there was a coat check.
Yeah,
but even if I knew that, I feel like I wouldn't want to mess around with it. Yeah, I'm not messing around with the coat check. So,
and then when you like, the whole point is like
I mean, do they predict the weather like two weeks out? Is that a thing?
Yeah, weather apps. But yeah, I'm like I'm not gonna wear a jacket and be cold outside before and then get inside and be hot. Right. And it's cold here. It's gonna be cold here on the 17th, so it's like not gonna be
right. Like,
it's not gonna be scorching hot in there. It's gonna be like
no, I know. Well, in there it's gonna get hot.
Yeah,
but yeah, looks like Friday the 17th, 42 degrees.
That's not bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah, listen, it's I think that concert's gonna go by so fast because that set's gonna be immaculate.
Set's gonna be insane. Are you a big Smino fan, by the way?
Yeah, we listened to his album.
Yeah,
I love.
We did listen
to
his
Amphetamine.
album, yeah.
If he plays Amphetamine, I think. But that's probably got to be his encore song.
You'd think he would play that. I'm like not a huge Smino fan, but like I've heard his popular songs, so that should be fun. But
I don't know. I saw JID at Mopop Festival.
Yeah, I remember.
And that shit was crazy. It was like the fastest set like ever. I couldn't tell you what he played. Like I'm sure but it was after DiCaprio 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So he played like Slick Talk and like all that kind of stuff.
Crazy. I feel like he's not gonna play
151
like roller deep cuts, but he might play.
He's gonna play Never.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, like you gotta have that transition between like the old album and the new album.
And the new one, yeah.
So it's kind of
gosh, it's gonna be insane. I can't wait. JID's like my absolute favorite. Since I feel like I'm talking to the podcast and I'm talking to you as like separate conversations, but this is just weird for us. It's weird for me. I don't know,
dude. It's like because I'm like, oh man, we were recording.
Because JID's my favorite rapper, but like now I'm telling the podcast JID's my favorite rapper.
If you're listening to this for the first time, and you're kind of lost in our conversation,
we've been just talking for
I don't know. We even introduced ourselves. Yeah,
we actually didn't. I'm Rosario.
Yeah, so. This is our podcast, Classic Mix Up.
We talk about music, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we break down albums that we give each other each week and then talk about random shit.
We got a couple albums to break down today.
Yeah, so we're I guess we can get into that if you want to. Okay, so we got a couple good albums this week. I gave Rosario Fan-Tas-Tic Volume 2
not to be confused with
by Slum Village
Volume 1.
Yeah,
which I accidentally listened to.
Yes,
and why this is a day late.
Yeah, so the past few weeks, Rosario and I on the pod have really discussed Jay Dilla and his supremacy as a producer.
And just a lot of legendary producers.
And just like I think last week we really ended with the discussion of like who stands above, and I was arguing that Dilla is like
the greatest.
He's created his own time sound. He's created everything. He's inspired actual drummers like Questlove.
And he didn't even play the drums, which we touched on.
Yeah. So I think I gave you this Slum Village album because I wouldn't say it's super heavy on rap because some verses are very cool, like and calm. Yeah, like it's good rap to put on in the background.
I was gonna say it's a really good thing to like kind of throw on if you're doing something.
Springtime.
Yeah.
If you want a good springtime rap album, throw this album on. And I was really exposed to this when I was watching this show. Oh man. Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I haven't. I looked at it, but I didn't watch it.
They have a episode on that has a big chunk on like Jay Dilla in his like movement in like the Detroit area, and
definitely need to watch that episode.
Well, and it got into Common too, which I didn't really think anything of Common.
Like he's from Chicago,
because I'm like and he's like kind of cheesy now, like he's kind of
I know, but he has some
hard
like B is considered one of the best hip hop albums of all time.
Yeah. So and it's some of the best like empowering rap bars of all time, like the most like woke shit you ever hear. And like I didn't know this until I watched Hip Hop Evolution and really learned about Jay Dilla, because Rosario and I are from the Detroit area, so we growing up we've heard about Jay Dilla and his his staple on Detroit music.
And like what it was and
he's
even what it became.
He's the guy. But then that show really exposed me to like his connections to like Q-Tip, who's on this album.
Right. And, great verse on this album, by the way.
The other guys in the group who are escaping my name. I'm my brain. But
I think it's Batine is one guy.
Yeah.
That's I think the main
guy. But all three of the guys are from Detroit, and they it was an interesting kind of the group is interesting because they're kind of like more like childhoodish friends.
Yeah, I think I read that they met in high school.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing because it's almost like Dilla and then the other 2 guys in the group, or 3 guys. How many are, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 2 rappers.
Two
it's interesting. It's interesting that
changed. Like I think like after Dilla
died, had a lot of lineup changes,
and then.
Well, it's interesting that you have a group of 2 rappers and a producer, and everyone remembers the producer, and we don't remember the individual names of the rappers,
which is I think really cool rare. Because the rappers aren't the guys in the group who rap are not bad.
No, not at all.
I just know them as Slum Village. They
don't do anything. Well, they might do something solo, but they're known for Slum Village.
Well, and the thing is like they're not like the guys that are the rappers in the group don't call themselves out. You know, it's not like like Tribe
they're like a team.
You always know who's rapping because it's I'm Q-Tip or it's I'm Phife Dawg or whatever. And like,
but I felt like with this record, like they were really forming a team. You know, like it did remind me of Tribe a little bit because we talked about the Tribe album months ago at this point.
Yeah. But it's really cool because there was tracks that definitely had the Tribe influence. Like I think
I can hear
that
it.
Q-Tip song.
I love that Q-Tip song.
It's probably one of my favorites. I think that's one of my favorites. Like the middle like 3 or 4 songs on the album, like tracks like 5 through 7 or 8, are like the strongest ones. And then like it kind of like really bell graphs really good. Like
kind of the middle is really strong.
The middle has some great like lyrically deep bars as well from everybody. Even the features are all like cool, thought-provoking.
Look at the track list. I actually definitely agree with you on the middle parts. I love the Q-Tip 4
through 7 or something like that.
Something like I think 4, 5 is the Climax, which is a classic song. I think I've heard that one before. Then you have the Q-Tip feature on track 6, which was awesome, and then Busta Rhymes on track 8.
That's Busta Rhymes was
great.
And then what's the it's not a featured song. It's after that chunk of features.
Get This Money is another one that is starred on Apple Music, so that one might be another hit. But I think they star the most streamed songs.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, those I think it's interesting how the features are really in the middle of the album too.
Yeah,
like it really like kind of builds up with the rap and then like adds like like the features are when you could tell the features like Busta and Q-Tip and all those guys they like want to be on it for the production and that kind of thing. Like
it's like an opportunity.
Yeah, well, and it's not like Future on like a song or like something where it's like they're obviously getting paid.
Yeah, right. Like they have the vibe of like they wanted to be in the studio working together.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like friends in the studio kind of just vibing and making something fun and making something that they're proud of.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I love that organic sound of the music, I guess would be a good way to describe it, because Riley was saying like with how some features are nowadays, some stuff may sound like, I don't know, uninspired, would you say?
Yeah, just like very like I would say random, B, just not about the music, and C, like you can obviously
random
tell that they don't care. Like it's like, they're getting paid.
Right.
And there's no substance to like when you have guys making songs on songs on songs, and I would say like Babytron is a good example of this. It's
just
like,
making a ton of songs.
It's just like there's no substance to what he's saying. Like there's good lines that we could pick up on.
Yeah, and I mean there's different.
That's cool.
And that's like that. I mean that's also still good music. It's just not in the same way that the Slum Village is good music.
And Slum Village is a good example of like that they weren't doing exactly what Detroit was doing at the time, because of Jay Dilla was just so monumentally different.
Well, and he was just starting out at this point too.
Yeah.
So one thing I'll say about his production on this album is the beats are compared to at least. Did you end up listening to Donuts at all or no?
No.
Okay, so one thing for people who have heard Donuts, which is kind of Jay Dilla's, I'd say, magnum opus.
Yeah, it's his only like,
at least in terms of it's his only like instrumental album.
Himself,
yeah, so that's what he's most known for, I would say, though, outside of Slum Village at least. So I'd say compared to that, these beats are a lot simpler, kind of toned down, but they still have his like marquee features. Like I noted, they still have his marquee styles with like the snare taps, cymbal usage. Yeah, it's a little. You can hear that. Like if you're a big Jay Dilla fan, which I know you are, you can hear like his marquee style in there, and of course you still have the sampling that he's known for, the soul samples, stuff like that.
It's great. Well, and I think like what's important about Jay Dilla is like, for those that don't know, like the dude literally as a producer created his own time, like beat time. So you have beats that are on time, like count to 1, 2, 3, 4, and
there's a kick. They call that like 4 out of 4 timing, right?
4 timing, and that's on beat. And then you have a swing beat that goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah, so like 5/4.
Yeah, so it has like an offset beat that like almost like leads your bars,
right.
But his would like do something where it would have like an even beat, like a 4/4 beat, on like the snare. But then
the cymbals would be different.
The kick would be like a swing. It would be do do do, and then do.
And that's like I said, they're subtle, but they're.
Well, and he thought about
it. Yeah, right. You gotta have a good ear.
People,
for stuff like that.
It's to the point where like I think I talked about this last week, but Questlove, the drummer of the Roots, got inspired to drum the way he does by Jay Dilla, listening to Dilla's beats, which is crazy because he's a very like educated drummer.
Like a technical
drummer. He's technical. Yeah. So he's hearing a guy play on the drums
and
purposely try to get a like behind the beat flow, like not very like on time, to get that more natural feeling. Like I remember there's on Far Side. Do you know Far Side?
Yeah, that group. Yeah.
So they had
an album called with like the purple. That's them, right? Or no?
Do you know the one with the roller coaster on the cover?
Yeah. I haven't listened to it, but I know it.
So, Dilla produced on that album.
Yeah,
I think he produced more on California, that one with all them in the suits.
Yeah.
So it's Lab of
California.
Yeah. So that's all Dilla beats, and like I think he has a bunch of beats that are like so disgustingly Dilla that it's like
3 hours long.
Oh, that's probably the deluxe
edition.
Yeah, no, you don't. It's like 45 minutes.
Okay.
But some of some of the Dilla influence is insane on stuff like that. You could hear that, the evolution and like how offset those beats are. Like this album I gave to you because not to show off the rap, because it's pretty
it's pretty like
but
like typical,
goes so good with
the beats. Yeah.
This early
and
Dilla beat.
And that goes back to, I think you have this kind of, I don't know what word to use, but you have this affliction where you're not like a big fan of instrumental rap music or hip hop music because at least for me, because I like hearing the rap on the beats. To me, that's like makes it, you know what I mean? Like pulls it all together.
Yeah.
As good as something like Donuts is, or like I've listened to Madlib's instrumentals albums. Like they are good, but for me, like hearing the rapping on it really ties it all together. So you have something like Slum Village. Sure, the star probably is Jay Dilla's production.
Yeah.
But I think the chemistry between the rappers themselves and the chemistry that they have with Jay Dilla like elevates it to the next level, and it really is able to especially like talk about the timing thing. Just listening to just the beat, you might not hear that, but when you hear the way they rap on it and it sounds a little behind or a little off, like
there's
it really highlights somehow.
It.
Yeah, it still works though.
It's still crazy.
It's impressive.
Well, I think I was eventually going to make a point about one of the Far Side albums production. So it's like I think the song "Runnin'," which is off of Lab of California, and it never has a repeating beat scheme throughout the whole song. So there's never a chorus beat. There's never a verse beat. It's
just like freestyle, like jazz.
It's almost. Like I think it's something crazy, like 22 bars of changing. Yeah, of changing.
That's beats incredible.
And until the next beat.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
Yeah, so it's great. But that's just and people thought he was crazy because it was like, what the fuck is like?
No one else is doing that, and they still aren't, which is
because it's easier to just put a beat into like a FL Studio and like then just loop it.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. It's like I watched this guy on YouTube that's like he breaks down like rap songs and that kind of thing, but he's a bass player for hip hop bands, so he'll play like bass and that kind of thing.
So he knows a lot about the more musical side of it.
And he's like in the circle of he's like adjacent to like the Soulquarians. So like Questlove that. So he's like played with some of the people and like
that's
that kind of thing.
That's sweet.
So he broke down like he tried to recreate Dilla sampling with a real drummer and himself and on bass.
Yeah.
And he's like listen, like you try to he matched up the drum patterns like on beat compared to Dilla time.
Yeah.
And he's like, you could do it and it sounds good, but Dilla time with the right sounds immaculate. Like it's like, and he's like, he didn't even do it justice by what he was doing, but we'll have to put the link of that video.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm interested to see it. Yeah. And that's, I mean, talking about someone who like plays bass for a hip hop band or something like that, like are blessed with musical knowledge that I don't have.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would never have picked up on the timing thing personally. I mean, I've heard about Dilla time and how influential he was with that. I didn't know exactly the technicality of it, but I think it's cool that
his autobiography is called Dilla Time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Pretty cool.
I didn't. Yeah, I know. I mean,
there's a lot of cool stories in it.
Obviously, he died super young. Rest in peace. But he made donuts like on his deathbed.
He was in the hospital. Yeah, he was in the hospital with his beat machine, just making beats.
And you can hear it. And you should listen to Donuts because it's one of the instrumental albums where the music speaks for itself.
Yeah,
it's like we've talked about it on the show before with some of these people who talk about guitar playing, like Black Keys, stuff like that. Their guitar playing like speaks for itself. Like this is that.
Yeah.
Just the sample loops and the drum patterns like kind of speak for themselves.
Sure. I'm sure that's like making my like goosebumps.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, to think that he was, it was his last days and he was
it's still just making beats.
Yeah. That's type of grind it takes them.
I would love to see like his house. His
studio. It was just like lined with records, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, in like anally clean and organized. Like I mean like
I can't imagine the days
like out of place, like anything.
Yeah, I can't imagine the days of sampling off a physical record.
Oh, it's probably way more awesome when you found something.
Oh
cool.
My god,
it's probably way more like it's probably way more. What is it? Gratifying.
Yeah, like fulfilling that you searched a record store and found a record and searched that record and found a sample like
Spanish drums volume 5.
Yeah,
and you find some random.
You find something and you sample it. Yeah, because like today, sure, scouring the internet is. I mean, people scour the internet for old songs and different beats to sample and stuff, but like this is not the internet. This is having to go out, walk or drive to the record store, buy records, listen to them, and pick out. I don't know. It's just amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And, because I'm a records guy. I got a bunch of records.
We got a ton of vinyls right here.
Yeah, so, I once was way more into it. Now I've kind of fallen out of it. But it's kind of like one of those things of like when I find a hidden gem, I'm like, holy shit, I feel like I have to like hide it in my jacket, like so no one else steals it from me. So it's like I only could imagine what it was
if
like
you're actually sampling them. Yeah.
Have
you listened to every record you own?
No.
Okay.
Because I have probably a quarter of those were given to me by some random guy, and they're just like it's like dad rock, like rock, and I'm just not.
Yeah, but I mean, you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I remember we listened to the Court of the Crimson King last time, and found that
was so cool.
And we found that sound that Kanye sampled. I forget what song.
21st Century.
Yeah. 21st Century.
I played it because
and I'm like, you're like, oh, have you ever heard Court of the Crimson King? I'm like, I haven't heard it, but like I know what it is,
dude.
And the first song, I'm like, oh, it's
and if
Kanye.
You like. I don't know what circumstances that you could listen to that album and just like
I don't really enjoy it, but
no, it's kind of out there. Like
I
just bought it because I'm like,
it's a sick vinyl.
I love 21st Century Schizoid Man.
And that song's insane. Yeah,
and then the last song on the album is pretty good, but I'm not listening to that whole vinyl. It's
maybe we'll finish it tonight.
Like,
no,
I would have to be so fucked up on drugs and shit.
Well, they were.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
totally.
I'm like, that's the only way I would have to be so drunk that I don't know what I'm.
You can't even understand the sounds you're hearing. Yeah. You're just like, oh, this is loud.
Right. Dude, I would be like,
I would have to. People love that record. I mean,
it's honestly like
for the '60s, it's incredible though. I mean, I feel like that's so heavy, like so ahead of its time.
I think like Court of the Crimson King was like one of like the benchmarks of heavy music.
Yeah,
like, that's like popular. That like Vanilla Fudge. You ever heard Vanilla Fudge?
I haven't, but great song. I know, obviously, super influential. That music sound like that didn't just come like that. No, was
that's
not
prog rock. That's like that was like kind of like goth, like before goth. Like it kind of splits off into like goth and then like metal. It's like kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, but before its time though, for sure.
Yeah.
But do you have favorite songs on this record? Because I wrote them down so I didn't forget them. So if you see me looking at my phone,
what were your favorites?
Well, I already mentioned. One thing I wanted to note, I found there was a couple songs in here and in the album that I accidentally listened to that I noticed. I noticed some of the samples. So, okay. Well, first off, originally I listened to the wrong Slum Village album.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there, but one of the songs on it, J. Cole actually used the same sample.
That's awesome.
And I instantly heard it. That's
awesome.
The J. Cole song is called Everybody Dies, and it uses the same sample as I think it's called Look at Love
by awesome.
Slum Village. So that was cool. But Hold Tight, I'd say, is one of my favorites. I think Q-Tip had a great verse. I've already mentioned it a few times, but that's one thing that really stuck out to me. That's one of the songs I've listened to a few times since I first heard this album. I don't know, a little over a week ago. And then right after that, you have the Busta song, which is cool too. I mean, Busta has like such a unique voice, which is he's not really someone I've ever gotten into, but I've also never heard him on like a super groovy like beat like this. I wrote down that I like him on the groovy old school beat. I think it's a fun track. Hearing him kind of in that light and hearing him not like rapping a million miles an hour.
Yeah, well. It's kind of cool because as you go back, like and hear Busta's stuff, it's like more like he has
like his old
the
stuff
Rastafarian sound instead of the super fast,
which is cool, which is way better.
Yeah,
because we were talking about this when West Side Gun dropped with Busta on it,
and he had the old sound.
Yeah, he had the old sound, and I'm like, I've never heard Busta Rhymes rap like this, and you're like, oh, dude, this is what he used to sound like.
This is like my favorite Busta songs, where like
And at first, I didn't like that song.
Fucking dreads too.
Yeah,
I
didn't know that. At first, I didn't like that song, and I've grown to really like it. So.
He's also on a song on the Last Tribe called Quest album. I can't.
We Got It From Here.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that. I've heard that album. I remember the Andre feature on that album.
I'm trying to remember the song, but he is on a song. And maybe Black Spasmodic.
Oh, all the features are hidden. I forgot.
Yeah, so it's
Black Spasmodic.
Yeah.
Black Spasmodic.
Yeah. And I think he's on that.
Yeah.
Because they do a beat switch.
I think Kids is one with Andre on it. That song is insane.
Dude, that album is so good. I love that album.
It's a great album. Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, so what's funny is when I listen to this album, my favorite Slum Village song is on 2.10, which is they added extra songs.
Like the remixes or
which is Fall in Love.
Oh yeah.
Did you listen to that?
I did, I heard that one. Yeah.
So that's actually on 2.10.
Yeah. So it was a weird little Apple Music thing. So I was looking at Genius because I was trying to find what one of the samples were.
Yeah.
And I saw on Genius that they didn't have that song "Fall in Love."
It's on 2.10.
Yeah,
which has a bunch of awesome other songs too.
Yeah, I didn't listen to all of the other songs, but
it's basically it's a deluxe version, basically.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's not like remixes. It's like new songs that they recorded, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's like, "Fall in Love" is an iconic Dilla beat, and I was like gonna point it out instead of the songs that I liked because it's like. It stands so far above any other Slum Village song that I love. Like "Fall in Love" is just like it's just very like when I'm it reminds me of like planting a garden or something like that. It's just so like peaceful and like I don't know, the bars in that song are so deep. It's about love. It's like like it's just like hits differently. Like maybe it's not the most like deepest thought shit. But it's like
well, this whole album, like we said earlier, it's kind of like just a good like vibe album.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't say.
It's a good summer album.
It's a good album to listen to like while you're doing a task. I would say it's like kind of mundane, but it's
I would say like if you want to nerd out and like not scare a girl away. So if you're like, hey, like I love rap music.
Right. Yeah. Right.
This would be you don't show her like fucking
Death Grips
Danny Brown or like.
Did you see what their album's called?
I love that shit. Did you hear the one
about
Lean Beef Patty?
No, I don't listen to any of the snippets. I just saw the title of the album.
Listen,
there's very mixed opinions on the title of that record. So
what was it again?
Scaring the Hoes, Volume 1.
Yeah, dude, we are gonna be scaring the hoes away with this shit.
Yeah, you are, but like they're really leaning into it.
Like, after I'm gonna say my top three. Let's say top three. And we'll talk.
Well, I'll finish my three. I said Hold Tight, what it's all about. And then Raise It Up, which was a really catchy song.
Yeah.
And another one of the ones where I noticed a sample. So I looked it up. And there's actually a funny story about it. So the sample was used without, it's a Daft Punk song. It was used without Daft Punk's permission. But instead of them asking Dilla to pay them, they just asked him if he could remix one of their songs.
That's fucking awesome.
And that's how.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's a Daft Punk song called Aerodynamics that has a Slum Village remix.
Oh, dude, that's
which is super cool because it's like
Daft Punk and Slum Village.
No, right, and I think it's cool that Daft Punk recognizes that, like, oh, like this guy is
he's a generational.
Yeah, and then we don't even want money. We just want you to like make a song with us.
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool.
And that's our payment.
And it made me like the song even more. It's a really catchy song either way.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah. So that's cool.
Wow, I wrote a lot for the next album we're gonna talk about. We don't have to get through all
that. Okay. No, I mean,
I was just
okay. So I guess so Hold Tight, my number one. Okay. We're gonna do an honorable mention, Fall in Love. That's off of the extra album.
Right. No.
Songs.
Hold Tight is
incredible. It is great. Q-Tip is amazing. You don't even realize it's Q-Tip until it's almost the end of his verse, which I think is great.
He's when he slides in perfectly. Yeah.
The Busta Rhymes song is What It's All About. What It All About is great because again, it's another. He fits in with the guys rapping.
Yeah, and so it sounds like we pretty much agree.
And it's just it flows. And then I think, Tell Me. Do you know D'Angelo? D'Angelo's more R.
Yeah, no, I know.
So Tell Me,
D'Angelo's another legend.
Yeah,
this is kind of before. I could be wrong on this. This is kind of before D'Angelo became kind of set his legendary status because this came out before Voodoo. I think Voodoo is kind of the record that.
Yeah, but he did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know he did a lot of stuff.
He was on everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But he was the guitars. He was the music. He was like kind of like Questlove.
That I didn't know.
So him and Questlove were the big nerds. No, dude, he plays guitar.
Okay, I mean,
Angelo plays guitar.
Well, he has an incredible voice.
Yeah. Do you know the song? What is it? Chicken Grease or something? I think it's called Chicken Grease, and they remade a song that was a pretty old song.
It's off of Voodoo. Yeah.
So it's the guitar and that shit is like the nerdy stuff, and it's like sounds like regular
like math
guitar.
rock.
Well, and it's kind of like, but it's for soul and R&B. Like you know what I mean? It's like the equivalent.
It's the equivalent of that for the soul music.
But yeah, those are my three top. But I love all the songs off this album.
It's a good one. It's a good one to just like throw on and relax to.
And because like you're not gonna like after like only nerds like me who know are gonna really know each song from each other because it's like
they kind of blend together a little bit. That's why I was I was so keen to write down stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think we've done this one justice pretty much. I would definitely recommend it if you're a big like hip hop production nerd because then you're gonna if you're in history, like Detroit rap, because then you're gonna be able to pick out all the little Dilla-isms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would recommend it just for anyone who, like you said, is just kind of planting a garden or whatever.
If you're like, I would love to like play this album when you're sitting with friends outside and just like like just like maybe sitting in like a sunroom or something.
Yeah, it's almost like the Jack Johnson vibe.
Like that. Yeah,
I've been listening to that. It's cool. Jack Johnson.
Dude, me too. Never off the rotation. Yeah, but the Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia stuff is going to be good because I heard a snippet of one of their songs.
Yeah, no, I heard the snippets are crazy.
Lean Beef Patty.
I'm excited for the album. I just don't know how to feel about the title. It's kind of corny to me.
Oh,
and I'm torn. True. I'm torn because like when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were saying it was corny, and I'm like, no, it kind of is corny, but I still think it's funny. So I think I'm on the side of like.
I don't know. I think Peggy's production and Danny Brown.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so chaotic but fun.
Like, it's gonna be like
it's gonna be one of those things of like this is garbage,
like psychotic
garbage.
Well, that's how I feel about Peggy's music, just as it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be psychotic, but
you need a particular mood for me for JPEG Mafia.
Oh yeah, and some songs just don't.
You gotta be like.
But then sometimes I could listen to like a whole Peggy album and then be like, "This shit is crazy cool."
No,
like, why is this
I heard 1539 North Calvert today, and I was like so into it. But like some days I could just be like,
Or what is it, Keenan and Kel versus the World? That shit is like dog hot garbage.
Well, I like fucking Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, that one goes crazy.
Anything off of All My Heroes Are Cornballs is like could either be like horrible dog shit
or like the most beautiful thing you've ever heard.
Oh, the beat switches.
Yeah. When he says, "I need all my bitches same color as Drake. If they're not, they're getting rocked." I'm like,
power to them. I don't give a fuck if you're out here.
That song is sick.
Yeah, that song is so good. Okay, so
we go to the next one. So that was our kind of wrap up on Slum Village, Fan-Tas-Tic Volume 2. The next album was the one that I gave for Riley to listen to. It was I'm Wide Awake It's Morning by Bright Eyes, which is a kind of folk / indie rock album. A lot of acoustic guitar playing here. Kind of led by a frontman, Connor Oberst, who does a lot of the guitar playing and singing. And yeah, I mean, I picked this one because like I first heard this album. It was in the summer. I don't know. It was in the summer. It was like maybe almost a year ago. And it just it was one of those ones where I first heard it and I didn't really think much of it, but like a couple songs stuck with me. But it was one of those ones that kept pulling me back, and I would keep listening to it again and again. And by now I love it. And there's so many little intricacies to it, tiny little. I think the lyrics are very powerful as well, so I kind of get hung up on that at times. But yeah, and also, I mean, if you saw, I think 2 episodes ago now when Abby was on the show. She's like, "Oh my God, you've never heard Bright Eyes?" I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll recommend the young man some Bright Eyes." But I don't know, maybe mixed reviews on Wide Awake This Morning.
Yeah, so I didn't think it was bad, but like the first song on the album is like literally hot. Like
it's something.
I think it's
such a way to get into it. I actually love it.
I know, which is crazy that I hated it so much. I love that because song. I talked to Abby about it.
Yeah, and she likes it.
And she was like, "How do you hate that song?" Like,
yeah, no, I love that song.
And I'm like, it's like everything about the genre that I think is annoying in one song.
Yeah, it's very pretentious. I don't hate
this album. Every other song is like a good song.
Okay.
Like I didn't hate this album, but it's like, I think the thing that I miss with like all of these folk albums, like even Phoebe and this, is like it's so fucking sad. Like I literally like I get up every day and I'm like sad. Why the fuck do I want to listen to
this? Dude, this first song is like
that's why
it's like crushing. It's such a way to get into the album.
And I sent Rosario a video of me while I was driving to school. Yeah, and I was listening to this song and it did so it's a long opening.
It's like a story. Yeah.
And that last like third of the song where it kicks up and it's like yeah, and I was like, what is this? I was like, what the fuck? Like
Riley sent me a video and he was like freaking out. He's like, is the whole album gonna be like this?
And it wasn't. So
yeah, but in a way, it kind of was similar. Yeah. But so the first song, it starts off with a story. It's Conor Oberst narrating a story over like just a little bit of acoustic guitar, and it's about a woman. Cool. It's about a woman who's on a plane, and long story short, the engine explodes and the plane goes down, and everybody dies. And at the end of the song, he says, "I'm happy because I realized I am no one." That's how it ends, and that's the first song on the album. It's one of the weirder ways to start off an album, but I love the song just because, like, I think it sets the vibe of being like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I have a lot written down. I don't really want to read directly off my phone, but it sets the melancholic theme for the album. Yeah. I mean, right, you already said it's a super sad, kind of despairing album.
It bummed me out.
And but I think it's interesting though, because it's not just like, oh, I'm sad, everything sucks.
No,
he's singing about like
and it's not. I wouldn't even say it's sad. It's dull. It just
I described it as melancholic. Yeah,
it makes you introspective and like think about.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing about this first track. At the bottom of everything, he's singing about like the insignificance of life and just like how that woman, as she was crashing on the plane, she's like, you know, it's like that's fine. Like she's like, at the end of the day, I'm no one. You know, we're all gonna die.
I think just the first song symbolized to me that it was gonna be a long 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I was gonna be sitting here, and good thing I had to drive to school.
Yeah,
like, it was like kind of one of those things of like, fuck. Like I was like, I don't know, because
it's just creepy and dark.
Love a couple songs on this album. I really love a couple songs. But all the other songs kind of mush together in my.
That's fair. That's kind of how I was initially as well.
And I think it makes me though want to go back and listen to it. Like I will probably do exactly what you were doing. It's just this thing of like I really like don't want to listen to the album like.
It could be, yeah. One thing for me, you described the album as like really sad. One thing for me is I said I think it can fit kind of multiple moods for me personally. Yeah. Like, yeah, sure, a lot of the songs are super sad and kind of, I mean, yeah, just depressing. But some other songs are pretty uplifting in my opinion. I think there's some more upbeat songs. Mm-hmm. I think in general, in terms of what he's saying, it's mostly pretty dark and sad, but you don't really have to focus on that part of it so much.
And I think that first song is really the saddest, one of the saddest songs.
Yeah, it probably is that one, and well, I guess going back to that topic, First Day of My Life is like sad, but also happy, and just I mean, it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it's meant to be a sad song. So one thing about this album is like it's very, I guess you could say, up for interpretation, because everyone I think who listens to this could get something different out of it, just in terms of the emotions that are conveyed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. That first song was I was kind of got nervous because I'm like, am I gonna absolutely hate this album?
I mean it
because like trust me, like Phoebe, like listening to Phoebe Bridgers is rough for me. Like it's literally like stuff
it's so sad.
I just don't. The music I listen to is like more like rock.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
What Phoebe Bridgers is singing about is not stuff that you typically like want to think about.
Well, no, and like I don't know, like that first song was just rough for me, but the next song, We're Nowhere and It's Here, something like that. I loved it.
Yeah,
like
right. So it picks right up after that first depressing song and gets into that like kind of like folky like.
And I love the girl. So the girl that sings backtracks on for him.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
I asked Abby.
Emmylou Harris.
Yes. Yeah, Emmylou Harris.
So it's like a country like legend.
Yes,
I guess.
I didn't know this. So either. I thought it was the girl. I was asking Abby like if it's the girl from Big Thief, because I know they're all kind of in the same circle.
It almost sounds like her. Really you say that.
Yeah, she's in that the girl that who really is on a lot of songs on this album. You can hear
she's in a few. Yeah, she does back. Like there's one song where she's like, I think it's Landlocked Blues, where she like sings like whole verses.
Yes.
So yeah,
and I was.
She does a great job.
I was about to say that this is like the one song where she's really prominent, but Landlocked
Blues, she's the most prominent, I think. Yeah,
but this one she sings with. She actually like kind of like
sings over
uplifts. Connor Oberst.
It's a great like
voice.
I since we're talking about it, I think the vocal performance on this album from Connor Oberst is like pretty amazing. Personally,
and
I thought it was super convicting and like.
Because I haven't heard a lot from him, so I've only heard him on Phoebe songs.
This is the first thing I had heard from him.
He really like kind of strains his voice on Phoebe's songs because she's very like dreary,
right?
And so he sings more like crackly, kind of breaking his voice,
which he does sometimes on here.
Yeah,
but I think for the most part he was very like loud, projecting, and very folky. Yeah, I mean, and I love that though.
And that song was like, okay, this album is not horrible. Like this is. Like
you got redeemed.
Yeah, it was one of those things of like I literally would have came here and been like, this was bad.
Which hasn't happened yet on this show, which is good
because I like music.
Me too. Like we tend to like everything. Yeah, and even if it's not my favorite, I find
like even though this album, like I literally was like, what the fuck is this first song, and like is this what I'm stuck for? It's like it's still good. Like I still enjoy it.
I remember one of the hardest things for me was Rubber Factory.
Yeah.
Which took like some time to appreciate just with the nature of how it sounds or whatever.
Yeah.
But especially since we came here and talked about it in real life, I just like, I don't know, thought of stuff to say about that and picked out stuff in it.
It's an album that like it's so funny because I even talked to my girlfriend about it. It's like after I listened to it, she wanted to know what I liked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, like all of the songs like in the middle kind of were very like okay, but then you had a couple songs in the beginning that were like fucking wow, like really
definitely
like that, like We're Nowhere and It's Here, and then I think another traveling song, Landlocked Blues and Poison Oak.
Yeah,
like
those are
songs that were like songs. I was like, okay, this is
good.
This
another traveling song is like a really, I mean I'm not sure you didn't pay like close attention to the lyrics. Okay, no. So for another traveling song. Yeah, he's singing about just like I'm like about how often he's on the road and stuff like that, and like just like the nature of his life being.
It's probably why I liked it more, where it wasn't so. It was more like his
subtle.
Yeah,
and but musically that song is like really like kind of upbeat and loud like musically. So
it has that like
it has a quick tempo. Yeah, which is that, and I guess that's why I like the I guess. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but there's some songs with like a really high tempo and some songs that are super slow and acoustic, and I think he does them both pretty well. Like the song Lua is widely considered one of the best songs on the album. It's like the really slow, sad acoustic song,
which
you're not like into. I know.
Yeah,
but I mean something about his voice over that like somber guitar is just like I don't
know. I can understand. Like I can understand it, and it's kind of
it's just emotional.
It bums me on the sense of like that I don't. Like I feel bad for not
like you're just not into it.
Like no, I mean stuff that I like.
There's stuff in music that I'm also just not into.
Listen, and it's cool. I can appreciate like some songs on this album, but it's not an album that I would be like, this is a top album.
No, I get that. It wasn't for me at one point either. I mean, I got recommended this album from Hive Mind.
That's what I was gonna say. I heard it off of Hive Mind.
Actually,
well, I've heard them talk about
right. They talked about it, and I'm like, okay. They're talking about it. Yeah, shout out to Hive Mind. Yeah. But yeah, I was watching a Hive Mind video, and they said, they were talking about I'm Wide Awake It's Morning or whatever, and I'm like,
Bright Eyes' first album is pretty cool. Like,
oh yeah,
he was like 16 when
I haven't heard anything else.
Great album.
I'm like so. I don't know.
Since I listened to this album, it's been a while since I've listened to this album.
Yeah,
we were gonna record on Monday, so this is Saturday. We're recording this,
right? Which should also be the day you're seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
So, we were gonna.
Well, because I listened to the wrong album. Yeah, which we've hinted at. So,
yeah. So Rosario listened to the wrong album, which is understandable because it was number one, and he just has to listen to number two.
But which number two way better than number one?
Yeah, for 100%. Yeah. So. I had a lot of time to like sit with my girlfriend and like talk about it and stuff, and she was just telling me that she's like she couldn't believe I didn't like it more.
Well, this is like her bread and butter, though.
Oh, dude, yeah. She's like I think her number one listen all time is this album.
Okay,
and I just I'm like
this isn't even my bread and butter. I'd say my like favorite thing to listen to is like Griselda, and like
J. Cole,
yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty clear, but this is like something that this is more of like a side project of my music listening. Like, the Neutral Milk Hotel and did you see Ferris Wheel on Fire's on streaming now? We missed it by a couple weeks. I think we did that.
Yeah,
I think Jeff Magnum saw our podcast. It's like the world needs to hear it. Like Jeff. It's like listen to how much these two random weirdos
on the pod. If we
let's have him on the pod.
If we ever find a link like a obscure link to Jeff Magnum, we should try to get on the pod.
I have an obscure link to Babytron.
Yeah, no, I do.
I've talked about it. But like, apparently, like they're like tight. I don't know.
Shut up.
I got it. Dude, someone sent me a snap last night, and it was a picture of the kid that knows him, and she was like, this kid spent the night at Babytron's house. I was like, there's no way that he spent the night at Babytron's house.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Babytron, if you're listening, love to have you.
Ypsilanti.
Shout out Ypsilanti. You spent a lot of time at Ypsilanti.
Hate that place.
Well,
sucks.
We love you, Babytron. We hate Ypsilanti, but we love you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
dude. But I get it. Like I would love to have been in high school, like mid high school, and found this. Like, and this inspired so much. Like in 2005, this came out. Like it blows my mind.
Kind of like modern folk.
Well, and it's nothing like what was out around the time. Like you think like he was doing his own thing, because think about what was popping in 2005.
It was like that alt rock, pop punk.
Paramore, Avril Lavigne, like all that kind of. It's now in hindsight, it's like this. I can't believe stuff like this was coming out.
Yeah, well, it's different. I say this all the time. It's different now versus then in terms of like finding music and listening to music. Because obviously we have streaming services, we have the internet, we have more access to whatever. Like every type of music is being made all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like, back 20 years ago, what you listen to me, like you would go to the CD store or the record store and like have to search what you're looking for. Yeah. I mean, that's why like we think of like only alt rock and pop punk for that time, is because that's what was being sold, like pushed heavily on the radio, sold.
That's what we both know from that.
Right. So, but like I'm saying, but now we have access to everything. We know more about like what's out there, which I think is just great.
Well, just to know that like my favorite album of all time, Magic Potion, is like came out the same year as like Infinity on High, is fucking mind blowing, because it's like
Magic Potion seems way older to me.
Dude, I know.
Doesn't it seem older? It's just a totally different sound.
Yeah. So, and then this is 2005. Like this is like has inspired Phoebe Bridgers. I'm sure Clairo,
definitely,
Big Thief, like all of those definitely. Like folk, the like revolutionaries in folk. And you know what? Boy Genius. I'm trying to get into them. It's pushing me away from their music. I need to stop listening.
You have to just like naturally.
Yeah, I have to.
I listened to their EP once, and that was it. Not to say it was bad. It was great. I just haven't really forced myself.
I think like
That record's coming out in
I know.
Like
I think I'm gonna naturally listen to it through like I don't want to force myself because I don't want to really listen to it. It's kind of one of those things that I'm like being told to listen to it.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna like
having
it.
a girlfriend. Yeah, couldn't be me. Anyways.
No, it's funny because I'll be like, I'll listen to she's like, you gotta listen to the new Boy Genius.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
I'm like, this is like bad. Like,
the old ball and chain, am I right? She doesn't listen to this anymore.
She beats the shit out. She punches me in the face. She's like, fuck you.
You didn't like the Bright Eyes album?
You son of a bitch. And then she beats me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she like gets the belt out when you didn't like the Bright Eyes album.
Yeah, she's like, Freddie, you don't know what the fuck you're talking
Is it really her most streamed album of all time? That's kind of...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's a good album. I mean, it's obviously I love it.
I just don't think it like I ever went down
it's just
that
not
path.
You though. It's just not you.
Well, I mean, like even think about the folk that we've talked about.
Well,
like,
the folk we've talked about is like freak folk. Like, we're talking about Neutral Milk Hotel.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Outside of
that's like so
outside of the
this.
pod.
That's so different.
And what Fleet Foxes, which is more like
I love Fleet Foxes.
It's more mountainy, more like upbeat, like we're marching through the wood shit.
Yeah, like you're marching through the wood. That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, Montezuma and like
I
all that kind of shit.
I fucking love
that song.
And that song. That song's incredible.
But they're more like earthy.
They're different.
This shit is like Seattle, like makes you want to like.
I think he's from Seattle.
Yeah.
And I think he wants to hang himself. Sure. So,
but
you got that right.
But like this like weird genre of like sad folk, like super sad folk.
Yeah,
it's
like
so interesting because I'm so new to it, and like it's crazy that you and my girlfriend love it separately because like I never wanted anything to do with it, and then now I have two people being like, you need to listen to it, and learning about the history is so fascinating. Because like you even think about
from
like
Omaha, that checks out. He's from Omaha, Nebraska.
Dude,
I want to kill myself if I was from Omaha, Nebraska.
What, corn?
You're listening to this from Nebraska.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks for staying. Not moving.
Sorry for joking about your state.
Thanks for not. You're probably in Chicago now, or
you should be at least. Chicago's amazing.
Yeah, it's closer than It's like go to
like
Chicago. There's like stuff.
Yeah. Anyways. I'm sorry I keep cutting you off.
No, that's fine.
Random fun facts. I mean,
dude, it's fine.
I think one thing that just like, I mean, if I had to sum up this album for one reason, like one thing that probably why your girlfriend loves it, probably why I love it, is like the passionate like vocal performance from like the emotion. Like he's an incredible singer, and like we talked about Eddie Vedder on the pod last week. Yeah. I'm getting my timeline mixed up, but
it's been a little over a week.
It's been a little over a week for us. Yeah, so we talked about Eddie Vedder on the pod last episode, and like he's probably like one of the goats of passionate vocal performances.
And he's not necessarily a good singer.
It's just he has a unique style, and I would say the same thing about Conor Oberst. I mean, I don't know if he's technically
keeping me in the album was his passion.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, he's passion is a great word to use, and emotion, and just the way he fits over that guitar is just like, I don't know, he fits like a glove. Like it was made perfectly for him. And
and I would say the thing that I could take away from this album is that I really appreciate his picking style of guitar, like how he plays guitar. Yeah, it was kind of inspiring because I kind of like tried to play like rhythm that he played, and then like his passion in singing. I would honestly put him above Phoebe because
as a vocalist,
her lyrical content is really weird to me.
Very weird.
His is more like story, like there's stories,
which I like. Most songs are telling a story.
Well, and it reminds me more of like Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yeah, it's kind of that. It's kind of that makes you like sit down and like really like get into it and kind of like be almost like transported to whatever story he's talking about. It's very apparent in some songs. Like the first song, he's like literally just telling a story.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more subtle, but every song he's kind of either just reminiscing or I don't know. It just seems like the type of album that you're like sitting around the campfire and he's like singing it to you.
Yeah.
It's like,
he kind of,
I don't know. It's interesting.
By his music, he kind of seems like more of a person you will actually like could talk to, and they're like a functioning human.
Yeah.
Like it's more of like his own.
More than like Jeff Magnum, at least.
Or like Phoebe. Like,
yeah.
I feel like
Jeff Magnum's like a schizoid probably. So.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. Yeah. He makes good music.
Jeff, come on the pod.
Jeff. We'll talk about about Pizzagate.
He makes incredible music.
Could you get some Pizzagate talk going on or some like conspiracy shit?
Dude,
imagine the conspiracy Jeff Magnum.
I bet he's a mad conspiracist.
Like, they put lead in our water to make us gay.
That's like a West Side Gun lyric.
They put lead in the water to make the frogs gay. Boo, 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 boo.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
I eat Chex Mix for cereal.
I eat Chex Mix for cereal. Anyway.
Sold Sherm to a fiend, look like Phoebe Bridgers. Anyways, I've got some favorite songs on this album for sure. I've got one of my favorite songs probably ever on this album is First Day of My Life, which I could see you thinking like maybe it's corny or something like that, but I don't know. It's just something about it. Like it's like one of those songs, there's some songs that have like filler in it. This is one of those songs where like every lyric and every beat is like meaningful and powerful to me. I think everything he says, he's like saying something. And it's also one that just evokes a ton of emotion for me. Like sometimes it's happiness, sometimes it's sadness, sometimes it's just I don't even know, but it's like just like a perfect song to me. And so I just wanted to have a chance to, I guess, shout out First Day of My Life. I think it's the most popular song off the album, but it's deservedly so. It's something special for me. And then another one we mentioned, Landlocked Blues, with Emmylou Harris doing the backing vocals, which really elevates the song, gives it a different feel. One thing I love about Landlocked Blues is that it's kind of a very open, flowy song structure. There's no chorus in it. And there's like a million verses. It's kind of a long song, but it's just like we were talking about, like with the storytelling, he kind of just starts strumming that guitar and just kind of goes. And it's a very like engulfing, like atmospheric experience for me. And it gets stuck in my head a lot. Something about it is just very catchy to me. And then you also mentioned Poison Oak, which is one of the more like intense instrumentally songs. Like it's more upbeat, more it really picks up at the end. That's one of that at the end. The drums kind of like come in and like it kind of elevates, and then Connor elevates his voice to get really like high and loud. And I mean, he's super intense emotional performance, which is kind of what draws me into this album. So I think those three songs kind of sum it up and are a good like taster for the album.
I got I had we talked about We Are Nowhere and It's Here. I really loved that.
Right, underrated.
Good contrast from the starting song. I think it was pretty cool. I really loved Another Traveling Song. Very fun. I like that.
More upbeat.
Now I got a couple like I loved Old Soul Song too. Like that was pretty memorable. Old Soul Song as well. And then Poison Oak.
I mean, I like most songs on this record, so I have something to say about almost all of them, probably. But
I think. I mean, it's definitely an album that I've like saved.
I think Old Soul Song is a good example of like his imagery and storytelling. I think that's one where he really paints a clear picture. That and obviously the first track, which is a little intense, but it's a clear picture for sure. I guess that's I'm Wide Awake It's Morning by Bright Eyes. It's kind of pretentious, kind of creepy, kind of sad, but
not as weird as like other stuff.
Oh, there's weirder for sure. It's I would recommend listening. I mean, I don't know. It's an experience at least.
And it kind of like you can kind of tell it's a little bit of like a couple songs could be a little dated too for like the mid 2000s. You could like that first song definitely I could like definitely get someone that is like, man, this sounds like something from like 2005. Or like the last song on the album is very like, I'm like, oh, this sounds like a dated song. But not in a bad, it's still folk, it's still Conor Oberst.
Like, if you like folk, or if you're just really sad and want to get into folk, which I'd recommend.
More depressed and like introspective and like really
definitely introspective. If you want to think about where you are in the universe, I guess. I'm Wide Awake This Morning. I have all the music linked in the description of the pod on whatever service we're on.
So. Catch us on everything: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, and we're on YouTube at Classic Mix Up, and on Twitter at Classic Mix Up Pod on Twitter.
If you're not watching us on YouTube, you don't have the privilege of seeing us together in a room.
Sitting in my room.
Cool room. I mean, you can see the potion on the ceiling.
Yeah, you can see the edge of it. Well, it's kind of bad.
Oh, dude, is the low end theory new?
No,
was that here the last time I was here?
Oh no, it was at my dorm.
Dude, that went down sick.
Dude, I know.
I
bought it off some like sketchy Chinese website.
Dub.
For like $3.
That's cool. My room is not like nearly this cool. I will say that.
Oh, it gets so messy so easily though. Like imagine like if I like do one thing in here, it's like everything spread out.
Fair enough.
It takes me 3 hours to like clean anything. It's like that's the one thing I'm like, man, I feel like a hoarder sometimes. But I'm like,
dude, you have an Avatar on box set?
Yeah,
dude, me too.
I bought it for myself.
Yeah, I got
my 17th birthday.
I got it for Christmas when I was like 14. Yeah. It was like the greatest Christmas gift of my life. Dude. Now it's on Netflix, but like it's so cool to have.
Oh, fucking
dude, Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you haven't seen that,
I have
classic
like
mix-up stamp of approval.
I was watching this at a pretty pivotal point in my life.
Oh, same.
Dude, it was like no, I don't think for the same reasons.
Not for the same reasons.
So, I just remember I was at like Central Michigan. And I was with like my then not girlfriend, but it was now my ex-girlfriend.
I remember this, yeah.
And I don't know if I told you, was I friends with you around this time?
I remember the girl you're talking about, I think.
Yeah. And we were like, I was like, wanted to just watch like Avatar. And then she'd like kiss me, and then I was like, fuck. Like I knew in my head this meant so much more than just a kiss. Because now I'm locked into this shit. Yeah. And I was like,
you know the meme where it's like, babe, please have sex with me. No, I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, it was like
just like me for real.
I remember like waking up in the middle of the night and then just like being on the floor for some reason, and then it like being on the episode where like Aang turns into the giant like water monster.
Oh yeah, that's on the season finale.
Yeah, and that shit was crazy.
Yeah, what a good show. I'd say when I say like pivotal for me, not like that, just like
it was. I wouldn't say it's not pivotal.
I'd say it's just a part of my childhood, and I grew up with it, and now it's like a part of my adulthood, and I still love it. So like that's what's cool about that.
I have an Avatar shirt. I rock that shit all the time.
Me too.
I'm a big nerd.
I got my mom got it free from Target, and I'm like, Mom, I love you.
Yeah, my little cousins bought it for me for Target.
That's amazing. It's probably the same shirt. Yeah, it actually probably is the same
shirt. It's actually like it's funny because it allows me to like be open to anime.
Yeah, I've never watched anime. But I've watched that and I love it. So I feel like
it's kind of like it's American, so it's kind of like it's not traditional anime,
right? But it's the style.
But, yeah, it's kind of like I'm not closed off to anime that people suggest me. So it's not. But I'm also not.
Do you watch anime?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I feel like I kind of want to get into like.
I rewatch it like when I find one that I really liked. I rewatch it. So I love Cowboy Bebop. Okay, and that's one of the more popular ones. But
the creators of Avatar were like heavily inspired by that.
And
show.
They did. So they did a couple that like production company did a couple shows that ran for like 1 season or 2 seasons or whatever.
Okay,
and it was Samurai Champloo, which is so Cowboy Bebop is space cowboys with jazz. Okay, so that's the gist. Cool. And then Samurai Champloo is
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hipster samurai with hip hop.
Okay, I feel like I'd probably be into that.
Dope as fuck.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now I'm stuck on Cowboy Bebop because I watch it all the time. I love it. I rewatch it. They made a live action show, fucking awesome, and they just released the soundtrack.
Okay,
on Spotify and Apple Music. Yeah. Fucking amazing. Sweet. I was listening to it. That like the doom.
Maybe if I like heard it for real, probably. Yeah, actually, that sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, that opening. 1, 2, 3. Let's do.
Yeah, I think I do know it. Like that's like the theme song for it.
Yeah,
I
think it was on TikTok.
Okay, yeah, that's where I heard it. But yeah,
I don't know. That's anime is just. It's cool
because I guess looking into that. I mean, I'm big into just like TV, I've been watching The Wire lately.
Oh, dude, yeah, I got into. I finished the first season, I moved out of my dorm, and then I
haven't got back into it. I'd say get back in. I mean, the second.
I want to rewatch it,
dude. Yeah, the first season is pretty. A similar thing happened to me. Like the first season, I really liked it, and then it took me a while to start the second season, and yeah, it was worth it. I was gonna say I kind of got lost on it though in the second season. It took me a long time to get through that second season, but seasons 3 and 4 are like incredible. Yeah. Like seasons 3 and 4 are insane.
I got back into like PC gaming, so I've been watching shows more. So that's kind of like it's kind of nice to have on in the background.
Yeah.
So like I'll just like put on a little window of like my game, and then I'll have like the bigger window on my screen of like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. But yeah, I mean,
you seen BoJack?
No, it's not really. I mean, I've watched like.
It'll probably make you depressed.
Yeah, no.
Probably if you don't like I'm Wide Awake It's Morning, you won't like BoJack.
Oh no,
no.
I need like excite. I don't know. It's not that like I'm Wide Awake It's Morning. It's like depressing or like makes me depressed. It's just like, oh, it's like I went so long, like not liking the like folk genre.
And now you're like getting it thrown at you now.
Now it's 100% in my face. It's kind of like
right between Abby and
it's kind of
me
like when you have a little baby do something exciting and then everyone cheers and they get scared. You ever seen a video like that?
Yeah, like
I'm that baby.
Yeah, right. You're like
I'm taking a step into like the pool and then everybody's cheering and then I get scared.
You know, you're like, oh, I kind of like folk music, and then me and Abby are like,
listening to the saddest shit, the craziest shit, and it's like, but it's like,
I mean, and here's the thing, I'm not even like I'm not even that like into it. I mean, I like it, but I'm not like, I don't know.
No, but then
I like Neutral Hotel.
Boy Genius.
Are you going? Because I'm not.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because last time we talked,
like $115.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like,
and then like you gotta buy a T-shirt too. So you just factor that in. At least if you're
I'm waiting for the solo Claro tour.
That's exactly what I said, and we're absolutely going
because it's gonna happen after, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna like release a new album eventually, and then
because I don't really care about Boy G. If I'm being honest, I don't.
I'm there for Claro. Anyone who watches this or knows me, I would melt.
We would be like little girls, like jumping up and down.
That's fine. That's fine.
Claro, we love you.
Did you see her at the at the YSL fashion show? She had a new tattoo.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's new. The first time I've seen the tattoo.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
dude, I follow the Claro fans.
Okay, well, I don't follow them, but I see them.
I'm a Claro head.
I'm big.
Listen, man.
Claire, if you're listening,
Claro, come on,
friend of the pod, come on the pod. Yeah,
we love you. We think you're awesome.
Now that would be an interview right there.
Oh, dude, because
I don't even know
it's
what
not just like fandom. It's not just like we're a fanboys. It's like literally like I love.
Well, she's like a musical. Okay, I shouldn't call her a musical genius, but she's like a musical historian. She knows like
she just
like,
I think that's like she's like us. Like I don't feel that.
Yeah, like, I think she would fit in.
Yeah,
Claire, I think you would fit in. Come join the pod.
You mind if I call you Claire?
We're on a first,
we're
on a first name basis.
We're already on a first name basis.
I'll clip this and tag her on Twitter. I have that kind of pull.
Down. Yeah, you have.
Yeah, me team Mike Sterry is that kind of pull.
Dude, you're a micro niche.
I wouldn't even say that
community on Twitter.
I was at one point, and now I fucking tweet about donuts and shit.
Like Dilla?
No.
Oh, donut.
Like the pastry.
Donuts. And you review donuts?
No, but like, I mean, I could, but I just like tweet when I eat a donut. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I tweet when I eat a donut. Apple fritter
goes fucking hard as shit.
Love apple fritters, dude.
Best
donut. Yeah.
Next to the traditional glaze, that's the two I go. There's nothing outside.
I would kill apple fritter right now.
Yeah. Oh, 7-Eleven apple fritter in the middle of the
night. I've never had a 7-Eleven apple fritter.
In the middle at like 3 a.m. when you're out with friends.
Never partaken. I don't know. I mean, I've been to 7-Eleven at 3 a.m. with my friends. I've never had an apple fritter. I usually like a Slurpee.
I think my pastimes will show why I was eating apple fritters at 3 in the morning.
Fair enough. God, I would do an apple fritter at any hour of the day. They're always welcome.
But the thing is, like, only high ass me would be like in a 7-Eleven staring at the donuts, like, what donut do I want? And then my friends are like already gone, and I'm like, where's everybody? And then I'm like, fuck, I guess look at the apple fritter. It's the best decision of my life. And then I go into like my.
So that was a pivotal moment in your life too. Then the 7-Eleven apple fritter.
I don't know what was going on. I just remember being in the 7-Eleven. I was probably just like hanging out with friends or something like that. And we drove to 7-Eleven. It's one of those nights where it doesn't matter what we were doing. It just matters that I was
with your friends and eating an apple fritter. That's inspiring,
dude. I've never had an apple fritter like it. It was just, it didn't.
You ever had Naps in Rochester? It's right downtown. It's on University in Maine, dude. That is a good donut. That's probably the best donut I ever had in my life. That's next time you're around that neck of the woods. I mean, your girlfriend
lives out there.
Not to dox her, but she lives on that side of town.
Yeah. Listen, I live on the random town area. Rochester's kind of like bougie. You know, it's like
it is
the McMansions and like downtown area.
Oh yeah, it is.
Anyway, little sub Michigan culture.
Yeah,
shit.
if you know
Southeast Michigan, like the rich people areas.
Yeah, right. Which, I mean, I think the whole Southeast Michigan is pretty. Well, actually, that's not true.
Well, you look at Detroit.
Well, I mean the suburbs at least. Not like
the towns outside of Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice. I mean, I like this area a lot, but now we're talking about something totally different. I was going to talk about what I listened to last week.
Socioeconomics, dude. That's literally what I'm.
This is like what you want. Yeah, right.
This is fun for me.
Yeah, no, it's fun for me too.
I just from school.
I'm looking at Babytron and Miles Davis next to each other, and I'm like, we gotta get into this.
The thing is, I get home from school and I yell about how like housing segregation happened, and I get mad, and then I go
gerrymandering and
and Blockbuster, all of that shit, redlining. And then I go upstairs, and my family's probably like, "This kid is fucking on something right now." And I'm like crying.
At least you're passionate about something.
Hey,
that matters.
Something. Yeah. Dude, I could go to a graduate program in like a good school. Like
that's awesome.
I would do that shit.
I'm glad you. Yeah. Anyways,
all right, let's talk about what we listen to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can see I got this is a little behind the scenes for you for what I do every time I do this segment.
No, this is me.
Yeah, right. I go to
Spotify. It's my Spotify.
Yeah, on Apple Music, you go to recently played. And I just scroll all the way to the bottom and just find what's relevant.
Yeah.
And right here I see Babytron.
Built to Spill. Love that album.
You love that album?
Dude.
I love that album. I was going to give it to you to talk about.
Give it to me, dude.
Give it to you?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But it's been a long time?
It's been a long time.
I was going to give it to you.
Because I'll give you, I was going to give you, I had 2 albums I was either going to give you, depending on what you gave me. So I love that. I love a couple songs of that album. Haven't
this one, though? Because this is the one that I...
Yes.
Okay. Because there's this one, too. There's,
something
there's Perfect From Now On and Keep It Like a Secret. This is the one that I like.
That one's I love that. The one song playing your tricks on me.
I've just recently gotten I've listened to
Your Mind or something like that.
Yeah. I fucking love
give me that
album. Okay, all right. I was gonna.
All right.
Cause anyways, Babytron dropped an EP.
Yes.
And it was actually like pretty good.
I didn't listen to it.
Okay.
We'll listen to it on after the pod.
Okay, sure. This A to Z song right here. I mean, like, okay, overall it's like whatever. But this A to Z song is like incredible. Okay. Remember when we first tried to do this episode and I asked you if you knew alphabet aerobics? That's on my Black Alicia. Aren't it all amazing? Yeah. Babytron kind of did that. The Babytron version.
Shut the fuck up.
He didn't do every letter.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a great idea for Babytron
to listen to it.
So yeah. And then I was listening to jazz also, which you could see.
Fuck yeah. I get into jazz too all the time. Do you know Delicate Steve?
That sounds really fun.
I'll just show you this video.
Okay.
Can I show you this video on pod? Because
I don't know. Can we do that? Yeah, sure.
It's like a minute.
Yeah,
but keep going.
No, I was just saying I found that it's hard for me to listen to music and work, like do homework or something like that.
Yeah.
I found that I like music with no lyrics when I'm working.
That's a scientific thing.
Because I listen to a Madlib record, I listen to Donuts, and I listen to Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. And
Miles Davis, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what else. I mean, I don't know jazz.
Some Japanese soul fusion.
Yeah, right.
Jazz. That shit is so good.
See, the thing is, I don't know jazz worth shit, so I'm like, oh, Miles Davis, he's famous, so I listen to that.
Oh, but you chose like the best guy for it. That's the definition of jazz.
I don't know jazz, but like I know.
Do you?
Like I'm in music circles.
There's like some great jazz in downtown Detroit on the west side and the north side, like towards 8 Mile, is some of the best, like 2 of the coolest jazz clubs.
Okay.
There's one, what is it called? It's called something, and it's literally like you go in there and it's like.
Wait, did you say it's called something?
I forgot what it's called.
It's called something.
But and you go in.
Yeah.
And it's literally like the size of a small bar, but you're shoulder to shoulder at seat tables with everybody, and it's like the most world class jazz. But it's in like the sketchiest part of Detroit, and you're like,
what you never know.
And you go in, and it's like a world class establishment with like historic pictures of people playing, and it hasn't changed since the 20s and like all this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff. Jazz is a cool history.
Jazz is what I wish I liked it. Not that I don't like it. I wish I got in. I could get into it.
I think it's like
I feel like I could get into it.
I think it's gonna what happens to me with music sometimes is like I'll just get an itch for it one day.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll get really into it. So
yeah, that's kind of how I was with this. Like I need to listen to music with no lyrics, and I'm not done listening to hip hop instrumentals.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's
so Delicate Steve is a guitar player, and this is a little animation that got done to one of his songs.
Okay.
So we'll link this. So it's Scooby.
I guess it's just gonna be
or Shaggy.
Yeah. Seriously lucked out with good weather this weekend. Here, let me back you a little Scooby snack.
To describe what's happening, so it's a video of an animated Scooby or Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and he's packing a bowl of weed, and it's like
holy shit,
weird as shit.
Meteor that just cut through Perseus straight into Draco's tail. I thought it was gonna hit Earth.
Okay.
Who are we listening to? Delicate Steve.
Fred.
Delicate Steve. Yeah.
Dude, it's for some reason like so it's me and my older mate Christian love this fucking video. We talk about it all the time. Every time I hang out with him, it's like we talk about Delicate Steve in that video, how funny it is. We quote it. Well, I remember this one time we were at his house and doing some stuff, and we were out in the backyard, and I was like, "Oh, dude, the Draco's tail, the meteor, the Draco's tail."
I thought it was gonna hit Earth.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He's like, and then I'm like, "Dude, that's such a good video." And he put on Delicate Steve. That song that's playing in the background is an actual song, so he put it on, and we were just like vibing out, and it was really cool. And then I showed it to Abby, and she's like, I'll be just sitting there. She'll just be watching it, like laughing. And I'm like, is it that funny? She just is fucking awesome.
No, it was funny. It was weird, but like, it was
funny. But it's out there, but it's like so quotable. But
well, I can link that. We have a couple things to link.
Yeah, Delicate Steve. What have I'm listening to Delicate Steve. That Rome Streets album we need to get to.
Yeah, we don't have to like fully break it down, but like that shit was fire.
Great. That little mixtape. 30 minutes long.
Yeah, so it wasn't built in a day by Rome Streets. I listened to it in the car on the way here.
What's your favorite song?
Suicide featuring Conway. Conway's verse is insane. That's my second favorite because Method Man's verse is also insane. I love.
It didn't sound like Method Man, which is fucking awesome. Gem Drop.
I was just gonna say Gem Drop. You know what I really liked is at the end of Gem Drop. That was Method Man talking at the end, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to sound dumb.
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah.
At the end, Method Man did like a little 1 minute like just outro for the song where he was talking about just Griselda, and he was saying some shit like I kind of want to see exactly what he was saying, but I don't. There's no lyrics for it on Apple Music, but he was saying something where it's like real rappers, it's like they're not remembered for their influence in the fashion world or their music videos or whatever. They're remembered for what they were saying. And then he goes, and that's Griselda. And then the next song starts. It was so hard. Yeah, it was so hard. We love Griselda. So
big Griselda guys.
No, the Rome Streets record was amazing.
It was great. Totally recommend that as a side listen for everybody else.
Dude, I've been obsessed with Is This It by The Strokes. I gotta listen to their other albums, but I love that album so much.
You mentioned that when we went to record this on Monday.
Yeah, you started singing one of the songs. I'm like, oh, dude, I've listened to that all week.
Yeah,
I listened to it again yesterday in the car.
I kind of got random stuff that I kind of found. I got into like this like kind of like weird like kind of like poppy like indie shit. This is like Red Pilot. This
Red Pilot.
Yeah. And it's kind of like this, like...
Oh, that sounds like something I've been to.
It sounds like Claro.
Yeah, it does.
So Pax. I would recommend Pax. And then this is like... It's like French.
French?
It's like French indie.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
This shit is good. Why is that so fucking good?
Sounds like my calc teacher.
But it's so good. It's their... Pfeffel is Glach. I think that's like... Something is... glassy or something shit. And then like I got into like this other like La Luz. It's like I think Spanish or something.
How do you find this?
I don't know. This shit is gas though.
That actually did sound really good.
And then this band Stereo Lab. You guys can probably hear this on the pod, but I'm showing it to Rosario real time.
I don't know how you find this stuff. I struggle.
Some nights I can't go to sleep and I'll just sit. I'll listen to new music.
I used to be really motivated to listen to new music. I go through like stretches where I'm super motivated to listen to new music and stretches where I can't at all. Yeah.
You know what's funny is the music that I listen to though on the regular is like I just know that like when I get in the mood to listen to new music, I should save a whole bunch because I'll be eventually like
ready to listen to it. Yeah. I forgot. I told you I was gonna send you the files for that Steve's album, didn't I?
Yeah,
and I never did it. I'll do it like right now after this. But I listened to that. I listened to that while I was studying for a math exam. Holy, that album is incredible.
You mean Capital Steez or
Capital Steez?
So, but his album's on it's on stream.
Yeah, it's it's not on Apple Music, but I saw Spotify. That they dropped it on Spotify.
I also got into this album by The Pretty Things. Which
shit! It is on Apple Music now.
SF Sorrow, the album by The Pretty Things. The Pretty Things are like. They're more of like a dad rock band, but they have one album that's psychedelic rock, and it's called SF Sorrow, and it's fucking insane. It's like you could tell that it inspired. Well, you could tell it like inspired heavy metal, the heavy guitar and like all this kind of stuff. And then I got into the Metal Fingers album.
Yeah, and then Royal is a great song.
Great
the Joey Badass song.
Yes.
It's so good.
I had to save it because I could I don't give a fuck about Joey Badass on that beat anymore.
Because the beat is
just superior. And I saved Oh Sister off of Ferris Wheel on Fire.
Yeah,
I saw
dude, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that. You're right. American Corruption is on Apple Music, and so is Ferris Wheel on Fire. That's a great.
Dude, it's coming around because one of my favorite albums that I haven't been able to listen to all the way through because it's not on anything. Is 3 Feet High and Rising by De La Soul.
Okay,
which that's like
getting put on streaming.
It's on. It just came out yesterday.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. Dude, my buddy actually texted me. My buddy who's like not really like that into music. I mean, like he listens to music or whatever. But he texted me. He's like. Neutral Milk Hotel dropped an album, and I'm like, no, they didn't. But let me go look and see what this guy's talking about. And I was Ferris Wheel on Fire. I'm like, holy shit!
It sends me a notification because I follow them on Spotify.
Okay, yeah, so that's awesome. But yeah, what else did I? I didn't really have anything too exciting. Definitely I listened to Built to Spill a lot. 2 of their albums I've been listening to a ton. But I'm not gonna say too much about it, I guess, because I definitely want to talk about that next week. So.
You know what's crazy is like we should do an episode on American Corruption. Yeah. Because there's a lot of history about the backlash on the album because it's like really? People thought it was like Nazi imagery.
Oh yeah, it was the 47.
And like, but it's a really like.
Yeah, I could definitely talk about that album.
A lot of topic about like oppression and that kind of stuff.
Oh, the things he's talking about on that album
is really.
Have you heard the song "Free the Robot"? Free the Robots.
I think so. I think it's the album that I'm talking about. The song I'm talking about.
That song is crazy.
We'll have to, and then okay, so. Before we get out of hand and this episode's 2 hours long,
what do you
want to do for next week?
Yeah, so I'm officially gonna give you "Keep It Like a Secret" by Built to Spill. I've been obsessed with it for a couple weeks, and this is gonna give me a chance to like listen to it and really dive into it, kind of analyze it, and yeah, I mean you said you heard it before, but it's been a while, so
the Zero.
Yeah, I love that song. I love that song. I love The Plan. I love You Were Right. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it'll give you a chance to kind of revisit it and get back into it. So,
what are you feeling? You want to rock this week, or
I don't know, you want to do rock and rock, or do you want to like switch it up?
Up to you, dude. Fucking A, dude. What? Let's do. You know what? Let's do A Crow Looked at Me by Mount Eerie.
Okay, time.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, definitely.
Because I think the Built to Spill album is a little more upbeat. And I'm gonna have fun with that, and I'm just not gonna listen to A Crow Looked at Me. So
you're not gonna listen to it at all. You're just gonna go off.
Oh, I remember it. Okay. I know every song by heart. Like I don't even have any of the songs saved. Like I've been like low key. So if you don't know what A Crow Looked at Me, it's Mount Eerie, which is Phil Elverum. It's like supposed to be like the saddest album anyone's ever heard of. It's the deep. I love it.
Like, I'm on spring break, man. Why?
Okay, well then
no. I want to listen to it.
Well, you got time to like sit alone.
Oh, I got time to sit alone. Trust. I'm gonna listen to it.
Okay,
don't change.
It's just a good time to listen to it. Or do you not
listen
to it?
I'm like content with my life, but I want to listen to it.
It's a beautiful story. You don't feel like you are him. It's a beautiful story.
No, I'm excited to hear it too.
It's been on my radar. What I love about it is you can hear the stages of grief.
I will be
throughout the process of it. Like it's like fucking crazy.
It probably won't be one that I listen to multiple times, but I'll find time during the week.
I don't need to.
You're not listening to it at all. Yeah, it sticks with you.
No,
okay, I'm excited.
It's beautiful. I'm
excited to hear it.
And I just tore apart fucking Bright Eyes and Phoebe Bridgers a couple weeks in a row, and then I was like, now I'm gonna be like the saddest album of all time.
Yeah, like, I mean Mount Eerie. I mean that's folk, no, or is it just different?
It's folk, but it's not like
different.
It's not like the Microphones at all. It's different.
That's all I've heard of him is the Microphones.
It's super.
I love the glow part too. That's kind of
It's not like that. It's very like almost like slow, really slow, like Neutral Milk Hotel.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm
excited.
It's
very literal, very like the lyrics.
It's not like okay. I was gonna say
it's not like
it's not cryptic.
Butterfly like flew through the skylight and landed on my balls
to a pine tree.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I don't like cryptic, to be honest.
No, it's straightforward.
I mean, I like cryptic because like it gives me something to do, but I don't like it in terms of like.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, the stage is set.
Yeah.
For episode 18. If you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.
We love getting a chance to do these like in-person episodes because we get to hang out and then like
we hang out after.
Yeah.
Talk before.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I guess thank you for listening. Follow the pod on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Follow us up. You don't want to miss an episode. We're always nerding out about something. We never come to an episode not excited to talk.
If you like music, I think you'll like the podcast. If your friends like music, I think they would like it too. So recommend it to them.
Pass it around. Send it to Claro. Send it to Jeff Mack.
Yeah. And now listen to this. Just a panel interview. You, me, Claro, and Jeff Magnum. And West Side Gun.
Yes. And it's like literally like the world powers. It's like
and Fantano.
It's like NATO.
Yeah.
Fantano will be like,
and Hive Mind.
Yeah. And Fantano will be like, your guys' music taste sucks. We're going to be like,
fuck you, Fantano.
You're like, you're right. You're right.
I would have Fantano on the pod.
Oh, dude. Honestly, like, if we get there one day, I would have anybody on. Sure. I'd be like, literally, like, I think we touch so many genres. It's like we don't typecast at all. No. It's like one group of people.
I thought we might start off as just being a rap and garage rock podcast, but we've really kind of
do everything now. It's like whatever was like Built to Spill and
Pro look. Yeah, like we are all. I love that though. I love that because like I have my kind of we have our kind of Venn diagrams where
and it's more of it. This podcast is beautifully broken down into you give me lyrical stuff that I'm like this more shit. This shit makes me sad, and then I give you songs that are like really cool to listen to, like in your ears, and then you're like, man, I don't know what the lyrics are saying, and but it's still like.
And then at the end we just talk about whatever.
West Side Gun
usually,
and Claro.
God, I love that man and that woman. Anyways, I think that's about it for episode 17 though.
Any wise words
you got? On me? Yeah. I guess just like I don't know. Enjoy your life. Enjoy every day. As Connor O'Bears once said, we are nothing. So whatever's tripping you up, just like take a deep breath, relax. Yeah. Probably won't matter.
Yeah, take I would say like for my little wise words for everybody's like self-help is important.
Take time for yourself.
Mental health. Make sure you're doing okay. Like take a set. Like if you're running around a few days in a row and you feel crazy or feel overwhelmed,
take a day
off. Purposely walk slower. Maybe take a second to like look at something a little bit. Maybe talk to someone. Maybe go out of your way and start a conversation. It helps so much. Because like it's happened to me where I felt like I've been like life's been moving too fast and I've been getting overwhelmed. Yeah. And then I slow down a bit or be, kind of tune into myself or say, I need to kind of come back to who I am. So I think people need to focus on themselves sometimes and be selfish a little bit. So
that's very nice.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much does it for us for Classic
Episode 17.
Episode 17.
Everybody, thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll see you next week for episode 18.
Bye, guys.